Hi everyone, welcome to Get a Life, the show where we inspire you to greatness in all areas of your existence. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we want you to stretch yourself, to learn and grow. Where are we today, Ty?
Today we're at the Olympic Ice Skating Rink in Oakley, Victoria. I love ice skating. I'm looking forward to today's show. Have you been ice skating before,
Yeah,
Craig?
not so much. I'm a little bit terrified, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit terrified because I'm good at beach, I'm good at sand, I'm good at all things kind of warm because this is Australia. We didn't grow up with ice skates on our feet, unlike some people in the room. But I tell you what I'll do, they've got these little assisty things, little penguins for the kids. So I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to strap in, I'm going to do my very best and try not to break anything because the crew behind the camera are a little worried about my fragile bones.
All right, well, we'll see if we can get you some milk to get your bones nice and strong later in the show. But tonight we've got a great show coming up. From your head to your toes, from your inside to your out, we've got it all happening right here on Get a Life. On tonight's show, we'll show you how to focus on healing trauma by working with your body and your emotions. How to keep your energy up throughout the day by making healthy snack choices. Then amazing facts about vitamin E and what it can do for your skin. Then it's part 3 of Kathy McKenzie's special look at health and well-being, focusing on success through finding a routine.
But first up tonight, we're going to revisit a segment we did last week where we saw mums exercising with babies. Did you see that?
I did see that, and it was really interesting because they had these really cute kangaroo pouch type of carriers that they were using to hold the babies during the exercise.
Exactly. So it's a great invention that enables mums to work out with their kids. So let's have a look at that carrier and see exactly how it works.
Well, you have a look at this next segment. I think it's time for you and me to get John to give us some skates and head out to the ice cream.
I'm a little nervous, but let's give it a crack.
It's first time.
There you go. Your size.
Thank you.
Size 8, please.
When you have a baby, you realise really quickly that your hands are tied up with holding and protecting that baby. And today I've got Christine here from Manduka Carriers. Christine, you're a mother of 4. How many times in your life did you wish you had an extra set of hands?
Oh, it's so true, Maritza. I mean, with my 4 children, I really did use baby carriers a lot. So it was for me a godsend. And I see mothers all the time now and they're struggling with a pram up steps and everything. And I feel like saying, honestly, really, grab a baby carrier. That's probably the most convenient thing you can be doing. We've done a survey and we found that 90% of expecting mothers are planning to use a baby carrier. So definitely everybody is after that convenience. And when we did that survey, one of the reasons that they would choose a carrier was comfort. So that definitely is top of the line for them for what they're looking for.
So comfort, you say, for the parent or for the child?
Manduka really does kind of fulfil both roles. It provides a really comfortable seating base for the baby, but it's supremely comfortable for the parent. And in fact, the Australian Physiotherapy Association endorsed the Manduka for so many reasons, but one of them was for the comfort of the parent. Now, in a baby carrier, if you've got an inadequate baby carrier, then your baby's going to feel very heavy. Manduka works a little bit like a backpack that you'd wear around Europe. It's so well designed that all of that weight is transferred all over throughout the carrier, through the shoulders and the hip area and the waist belt, so that in fact there is no sense of having the weight sitting anywhere in particular. It's just all over. It's German designed, and German design really does stand for so much. There's a saying in Germany, which is a saying I love, and it's along the lines of less but better. So what they do is they design something that's very classic and simple to look at, but the way that it's worn on the body and how it feels when you carry this baby, it's really like no other carrier. Everything's kind of hidden in the design, but it feels beautiful and the weight is distributed evenly, even up to 20 kilograms. Manduka Baby Carrier does have an integrated newborn insert. You don't need to buy anything extra. It's built into the carrier, and it means that you can wear a Manduka in that 4th trimester period.
I really noticed a great feature was the head protection that sort of opened on one side and was left closed on the other. So depending on where their head is turned, they can sort of see out and breathe easier. What are the other sort of great features of the Manduka carrier?
Yeah, so the Manduka has so many things that make it really comfortable for the baby. One of them is just simply the shape. It really is shaped like no other carrier. If you look at the way a baby will sit in that carrier, there are lots of darts and shaping that makes it cradle the baby. There's also a beautiful patented extension zip at the back, which means that the back of the carrier can be extended for older babies. Manduka has a padded area around the neck, more padded than any other carrier, so it's lovely and comfortable around that neck for a floppy neck for a younger baby.
So it makes it good to exercise with then too.
It really is, and you know, Manduka and Kanga Training have worked in partnership so that Kanga Training has used Mandukas exclusively around the world to make it a comfortable experience for mothers so they can exercise with their babies. One of the reasons for that is that Manduka holds the baby tightly against the body, which is really important. When you have a good carrier, if you jiggle, your baby shouldn't jiggle with it. The baby should be held nice and tight against the body.
I think it's a great product. Well, parents out there, you've got to get your hands on one of these Manduka carriers. Check out more information on getalife.tv. Thank you so much.
Hey, if you check out the website, we've got lots of great prizes that you can win by just following the links, as well as anything you've seen throughout any of the shows. You can get more information just by logging in.
Absolutely. But coming up now, Erica, the lovely Erica, is going to give us some ideas around nutritional tips, suggestions, strategies that will give us optimal energy so that we can be the high performance beasts that we want to be.
Well, I hope you've got lots of energy now because, Craig, it is time to hit the ice.
I'm not really that excited.
Let's go.
I know it's telly, I know I'm meant to be excited. I'm just not feeling the love. I tell you what, how about I just support you emotionally?
Hello, it's snack time. I'm so excited to be able to share with you some thoughts because if you're like me, I love sweet. I would do anything to get that sweet taste, kind of especially that mid-afternoon when you're starting to slump a little bit in energy. Any form of sugar is going to make you feel fantastic when you have it. So excited, uplifted, but then about an hour later, bang, you feel just not good. Low in energy, moody, and then you want more of that sugar. So I want to show you some snacks that you can have that taste nice and sweet, that give you that little kick, but keep your energy going all the way through the day progressively. A little bit of crackers and some hummus, some fresh berries and some dry roasted almonds. Go for the dry roasted, much crunchier and tastier. Or a little bit more hearty snack, you can have a baked potato with some salmon, tuna, and a little bit of avocado. Delicious. Or some fresh fruit, any kind of fresh fruit, and some low-fat Greek yogurt. I think the thing about snacks is that you do have to plan them because otherwise you're going to grab that chocolate bar or that packet of chips or something that's really not going to make you feel great an hour after you eat it. Happy snacking. Bye.
Thanks, Erica. I think we could definitely use a healthy snack after working up an appetite here on the ice.
Definitely.
All right, Craig, so being that this is your first time on the ice, I've gotten out the penguins, which we normally use for kids to help them find their balance, but I thought it would be a good place for us to start.
Well, I am somewhat juvenile, so it would seem an appropriate strategy.
You're a big kid at heart. All right, just hold on and start skating.
And while we do that, George Gentilis is going to teach us about how using our mind and our emotions, we can heal trauma.
Which hopefully he won't need after this.
Hi everyone, I'm George Gentilis, and last week we focused on limiting beliefs, how to release them, and why meditation is very important for that, to come into your body. Today we're going to focus on healing trauma, which is just going a bit further. When you have something that's a little bit deeper, the meditation's not enough, when actually movement's required. There are these major events that happen in our lives that sometimes have a big impact from which we never fully recover or never fully become ourselves again. And the definition of a trauma is basically something that's happened in your life where you thought even for a second that I might die here, or even if you perceive it that you might die here. And it could be over very quickly, and yet your body will go into shock to try and save itself, what we call a fight-flight response. And if your body doesn't get a chance to release this fear, this shock, then it stays, you lock it up and you get on with your life. And then you think you're over it, and then years go by, and then all these symptoms start to appear. Maybe you get insomnia, can't sleep, people will start to get migraines, panic attacks is a big one, anxiety over certain issues, obviously phobias is a common one. All of a sudden something will scare you for no reason. And as I said last week, using willpower is not enough because it's a lower brain, your primitive brain there, your cerebellum, is still trying to save you. In fact, the warning lights are still flashing in there, but you've covered them up. Because we've got a great intellect, we're able to get on with our lives and get over things, and we talk it out a little bit and we think that's over, but really the symptoms can show up years later. And what it really is, your body really hasn't released it. So when people come in, I help them to release these movements, and so it's really blocked movements in the body. The body has to move, and if there is panic attack there, it just means you couldn't save yourself in an event sometime in the past. And so I would help you free up that event, free up that movement, whether you remember it or not, and just by watching your body, you can see where the arms are stiff and need to move, or you can see where the legs have tightened up and need to kick or push or run, or where the person is needed to duck but couldn't. You may even find yourself ducking in the session. So it looks weird, but the freedom after that is just amazing, and it just frees you up, the muscles relax, you sleep better, confidence goes up. In psychological terms, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, which is all the symptoms that come up years later, long after the event, when your body just can't handle that stress anymore. And it's another interesting point is that a lot of people think that as you age, that muscles have to get heavier, you have to feel crankier, you have to feel more stiffer in your body. That's not true. All that really means is when you've got that stiffness as you get older, is that you've got a past trauma that's just been sitting there in your muscles, building, and all the stresses have been building, and that's why your muscles get stiffer and you can't move as much as you get older. But if you free those up, exercise, get good trauma work to free all this up, then your muscles loosen again and you actually feel supple in your whole body. There's nothing that says you can't feel fully supple in your whole body until you're in your 70s and 80s and 90s. There's a lot of people like that. So just know there are ways of healing it. Rather than medicating it and suppressing it, you really want to free it up, and exercise does that beautiful. Weight training, movement, walking, a bit of running, and that'll really help. So there you go, there's a lot of information about healing trauma. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you again.
Thanks, George. Great information as always, and such an important message, so relevant, healing from trauma. It's something that we all need to do at some stage of our lives. I may need to heal from something more physical myself if I stay out here on the ice
Craig,
any longer.
You're doing a great job. We've lost the penguin. You're standing up straight. I'll have you doing
I'm upright.
twirls before the end of the day. All right, next up, here's Kathy McKenzie with showing you how to make good choices last a lifetime. Come on, Craig, twirl with me.
I'm back here this week with Kylie, and we're going to be talking about exercise, and she's looking like Sporty Spice, so she's ready for it. And we're going to talk about what it is that stops us from being committed to doing exercise. I've been training people for over 20 years, and I think the number one topic, even before diet, is exercise. That people will have coaching sessions saying that, you know, they've got good intentions, but they just don't follow through. So it's about changing your mindset and starting to think about your own commitment to exercise. What's going to make you actually commit to action? And I'm going to get some tips off Kylie today about how she works with people to make sure that they actually take it on board themselves. We all know that people tell us what we should do, but telling people what they should do is not enough. Tell me, Kylie, what do you do when you're working with people to actually make sure that it's self-initiated and that they actually take responsibility for their own exercise programs?
Yeah, so I think that's a great point, Kath, is we're so used to telling people what to do, and that doesn't work. And what we're wanting to do is to try and help people to understand what their mindset is and what's holding them back from actually getting into an exercise routine. So when I start with a client, I would actually ask some really powerful questions, such as asking them, like, what exercises do you enjoy? What's worked for you in the past? And to start to get some understanding of where they're at and maybe what may work for the future. Some other questions I may ask is, what's held you back in the past? You know, what is it that's got in the way before? What are the rewards when you do engage in this exercise routine? What are going to be the rewards for that? And suddenly your client starts to be empowered with so much that they already know, and that gets them moving.
Now, that's a really good point that you're making about asking people what they enjoy. we only commit to doing the things that we really want to do. And if we want to do something, we're more likely to do it regularly. So finding either your favourite exercise to do, or thinking about whether you're a person who likes to exercise alone or whether you're the kind of person who enjoys exercising with someone else. I know for me, my commitment is greater because I've got a personal trainer, and come rain or shine, I have to show up there on a Friday morning. What do you find in terms of the difference that it makes to people having someone that they're committed to?
Oh, for sure, someone that absolutely it helps to have accountability, support, and someone just to be there who really is on the journey with you makes a massive difference. And I think when you start looking at setting your goals, it's really important to make them really clear and specific goals and measurable. So we put a time frame around them, so we start to get really clear outcomes, and that also can help us to get better results.
How important is it, do you think, Kylie, for someone to have an event or something that they're aiming for or wanting to strive for?
Yeah, I think that is very important, and it really helps people to stay focused on an outcome, and it gives them anticipation for actually achieving something, which I find is really, really helpful.
This week, Kylie and I are setting you a challenge. Our tip is to make sure that you are active every ad break when you're watching TV. So get out of your chair, do something. Don't just think about it, get out of your head and get into action. And then next week we'll come back and talk about career.
Coming up very soon is an interview that I did. I had a chat this week with Dr. Melissa Weinberg from an organisation called Young and Well. They're doing some great work with young people in the space of performance and sorting out their life and getting clarity. And they're using things like computer programs and apps, a lot of tech, kind of technology meets psychology to improve clarity and performance in the young folks world. Let's take a look. Hey guys, I'm very excited to be at Young and Well CRC today. We're talking to Dr. Melissa Weinberg. Tell us a little bit about what you do here.
Right, so here at the Young and Well CRC, we explore the ways that technology can be used to improve young people's mental health and well-being.
And I guess that's like really relevant because they're all over it. I mean, so that's where kids live or spend a lot of their time in cyberspace on their computers, on their apps, on their phones and all the technology. So I guess it's a very relatable way of connecting with them.
Yeah, that's right. There are a few things that we know about young people in this space. The first is that 1 in 4 young people have a diagnosed mental disorder.
Yeah.
And we also know that 99% of young people are online daily. So as you said, they're in that space and they're on their mobile phones and they're in front of their computers. And sometimes we focus on that being potentially a bad thing, but what it does is it really offers us a huge medium to communicate and to engage that population.
And I guess that's really important because if that's where they live, in inverted commas, then you're already speaking their language. So when it's something that they can find online, whether or not it's a service or an app or a product, I don't know, but at least they're already in that headspace where it's not something that's unfamiliar or uncomfortable with for them.
There are often barriers to young people engaging with mental health services, and some of those have to do with them wanting to remain anonymous, concerned about their privacy, concerned about their information. And when we take things online, when we take things into their space, we've done research to find out and to understand how young people feel about going online, and they tell us that they feel comfortable online, that they feel safe online. And so when it comes to things like mental health, things that they would normally perhaps feel uncomfortable talking about, bringing it into their space and right in front of them at their fingertips literally is really important in terms of getting their engagement.
So for you as a psychologist, what are some of the barriers, some of the obstacles in terms of 1, identifying some of these issues, and then 2, making people aware, and then 3, helping people access them and benefit from them?
Right, so there's a lot of stigma associated with psychological health a lot of the time, and sometimes, especially with young people, and especially with young men, they don't always talk about their problems, they don't know who to turn to. And so what a lot of them do is they turn to the internet, they'll search on Google for their symptoms, or they'll search for other people who feel the same way as them. And so what we do here is we capitalise on that by providing them with information through apps, through biometric devices, through online websites that give them information and can actually deliver services to them to help improve their well-being. Part of what we do here is involving young people in the process from the beginning. So everything that we design, everything that we create has the young people's voice throughout. Right. So it's we involve young people and young men in the design process, in the development process. They tell us how they want their apps to look. They tell us the language that they want us to use. They tell us what's going to appeal to them. So a few of the apps that we've developed, one in particular was called Appreciate a Mate. Right. And that app basically gave young people the words that they would use to spread positive messages and share through their networks messages of positivity to improve the well-being of those around them and their own.
Yeah. And is there any way for you to be able to evaluate the efficacy of all of this and what's working and what's not and adapting it as you go?
So what's different about our apps is that they've all gone through a quality control process. Yep. So they've been evaluated through the Mars. Yep. And so we can actually say that they are effective, that people like using them, they're engaging, they're visually appealing, and that they're informative. Yeah. And then we can also, a lot of our apps are also tested in terms of whether they're actually making a difference. So can we see a reduction in symptoms of depression, in symptoms of anxiety, in stress, and an improvement in well-being as a consequence of people engaging with these apps? Well, Melissa, from Young and Well CRC, did I get it right? You did. You've done very well. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. Thank you. And a big thanks to the folk down there at Young and Well, and particularly Dr. Melissa. What a great lady, doing great work, impacting young lives and helping people get clear about their future. I wonder if my partner is around. I wonder if my on-air, oh my goodness.
Craig, what are you doing?
Well, I've decided to hang up the skates temporarily. I feel that perhaps my forte, I feel that my strength might be off the ice. And also there's the thing that I've got so much skill on the ice that I don't want to make you insecure.
Oh, that's very, very thoughtful of you.
That's how I roll.
All right, coming up next, I caught up with Con from Plunkett's to talk about vitamin E and really how great it can be for your skin. Have a look. We all know that vitamins are an important part of our diet, but did you know that vitamins can actually work miracles on your skin? Today we're back with Con, and we're going to talk about the importance of vitamin E when it comes to skincare.
Do you know it's so important for us to make sure that we have a well-balanced diet so that we have a good intake of vitamins and minerals. But if we've got skin concerns, we can actually apply vitamin E directly to the skin so that we can target those areas that really need a strong boost of vitamin E.
Yeah, so what are some of the benefits of vitamin E?
Well, vitamin E does a number of things. The water moisture content in our skin can evaporate through the skin if we use soaps and detergents a lot on our skin. So vitamin E is very good to restore the protective barrier on the skin, which prevents excessive moisture loss through the skin. That leads to dry skin, and dehydration causes premature aging, and none of us want that to happen.
We certainly don't.
Another benefit of vitamin E is that it's an antioxidant. Most of us know that antioxidants are important, but not sure why. Well, oxidative stress is suffered by the skin, just like oxidization happens on metals, and we call that rust, and that looks old and ready to go to the dump. Well, our skin suffers the same kind of oxidization, and vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, so it protects us against the oxidization factors in the environment. They can be caused by, smoke, cigarette smoke, and other environmental pollutants that actually really significantly impact our skin, and our skin's trying to defend itself against it. Vitamin E gives it that necessary help.
Yeah, right. You're saying that's very powerful, but how powerful is it?
Well, the best way to look at the strength of vitamin E is to look at how many international units per gram. And international units per gram are a measure of the strength of vitamin E in a product. Yeah. Now, there's also the difference between natural and synthetic vitamin E.
Yeah, right. Isn't all vitamin E natural?
Well, look, it sounds natural,
yeah, it does.
But vitamin E can also be synthetically manufactured. But natural vitamin E, which comes from things like nuts and seeds, actually is a more potent form of vitamin E, and it's also much more easily absorbed in the skin. So it actually is better all round.
Yeah, it sounds good. Now, I've also seen that you guys combine rosehip oil with vitamin E. What's the benefit of that?
Well, rosehip oil contains vitamin A and C, and if you use that in combination, it actually enhances the antioxidant power and also the healing power of restoring the skin, particularly if we're using vitamin E in treating wounds, grazes, cuts, sunburn, nappy rash. I mean, vitamin E probably would be the thing that we would think of if we're thinking about healing and restoring, like it's a medicine cabinet must.
Yeah, right. I didn't realize that vitamin E could be used for so many different things, and for anti-aging and skincare. It really sounds wonderful. If you are interested in some of the Vita E products, head to the getalife.tv website and follow the Plunkett's link. And Con, what are we going to talk about next week?
Well, next week, Talia, we'll be looking at how vitamin E can be used for its anti-aging properties.
Oh, great. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Con. For more information on anything you've seen on tonight's episode, you can head to getalife.tv. And there's also some really great prizes there as well, so just follow the links.
There are indeed great prizes, one of them not being a skating date with me.
What are you talking about? You did such a great job.
I kind of didn't, but thanks. I love the encouragement. I'm back
Got
into
in the sneakers.
I'm back into the sneakers. These skates have disappeared.
I've
Unlike yourself,
upgraded.
well, you've upgraded. You've gone to the next level. So you are now. What is that? Are you a goalie?
I was such a pro at the whole skating thing. I've decided to take on ice hockey. So I've got my gear, I've got my stick, I've got my puck, and until next time, get alive.
Get alive.
Come on, Craig, have fun.
I'll still be here if you need me.